All right, and a pleasant good morning to you from the sports betting capital of the world, Las Vegas. My name is Ramon Scott, and welcome to college football preview show here for Saturday. It's officially week one here for the start of the college football season. We know we got a little teaser last week, but we're ready to go here, and I'm here on the Nuke The House channel and appreciate those of you coming along for the ride with me as we preview college football's biggest games today, including the lead up to our live companion coverage at the top of the hour for the big game from the Horseshoe with number 1 Texas and number 3 Ohio State. We're looking forward certainly to that one and getting going here with the season. So can't wait. The guys will be along with you with that companion stream here as we get ready for the action here on Saturday. And we'll preview that one right away and get it going. And we'll be out of here. Now the game isn't starting at top of the hour with this one, man. It's going to be a few minutes after, but I know the guys have the program scheduled for the top of the hour. So that's how we'll get it going. Hey, folks, here at Nuke the House, you can get exclusive picks from me and the crew here today and every day with our packages here. Hey, our packages have plays, of course, our guys NASCAR, MMA, college football, NFL. These are their specialties, and this is the time of year you want to get signed up with us. So go to nukethehouse.com and use that promo code NFL40 to lock in 40% off this NFL season at nukethehouse.com. I've got my exclusive plays over there as well for today's action. I got 4 plays locked in here for today, and you can only get those plays at Nuke the House. I know I'm on a lot of channels here and there and shows and videos, but I have exclusive action here at Nuke the House, and you got to be a member to get those plays. So consider choosing us here. Visit nukethehouse.com and sign up for those plans, and you'll get charged until you want to be charged. So check us out over at nukethehouse.com. Use the promo code NUKETHEHOUSE for 1 free week. All right. Great to have you with me here on the show. We're previewing college football's biggest games today here. We're starting with the big one at the Horseshoe with Texas and Ohio State. This will be our companion coverage game here today, and why not? With the number 1 and number 3 teams in Kentucky, in the country, renewing the game from last year, of course, when it was the bowl game, the Cotton Bowl. Remember, Ohio State beat Texas 28-14 as a 6-point favorite. Ohio State outgained Texas 370-341 in that game. So that was the first time the teams have met in a few years. So for Texas here, look, last 2 years, pretty good, 25-5 record, or the number 1 spot in the preseason, of course, here this year. Texas, now look, it says -1. Maybe you're looking at your book. Maybe it's a pick 'em right now. It's fluctuated here definitely as we approach kickoff. I think the sharp books are mostly 1. I know DraftKings right now, 1.5. Coming into the game. So, look, it's a coin flip. Let's be fair here. Now, for Texas and Arch Manning, we know he's going to be a legend, right? Just 2 career starts. So, how will he fare within the confines of the crowd at the Horseshoe, right? Texas just 2-4 against the spread as an underdog under Sarkisian. I don't know if that matters necessarily here. I think more would be Texas 11-7 against the spread against non-conference foes coming in. Now the Longhorns have returned just 11 starters, but with Manning, he's the one that's kind of put them over the top this season as the number one team, because you got to have the man. And Ohio State, they think they might have the man in Julian Sayin, the freshman from Carlsbad, California. Followed this guy quite closely. I was surprised that he actually was going to Alabama in the beginning, and then I was regretful that he wasn't going to Alabama by the time he made his announcement official. But maybe he will fit along with Ryan Day. It's going to be awesome to see Sayin here in his first game. So we already saw, I don't know if you're watching the some of the pregame here, the Big Ten kickoff, and the kid nailing that field goal for $250,000 on national TV there just a short time ago. Anyway, for Ohio State here, look, national champs here, obviously. They got 9 starters back on defense. They returned about 85 starts on the offensive line. Yes, inexperience for Sayin here, but he'll feel more cozy at home. Now, under Ryan Day, Ohio State is 26-16 against the spread at home, 38-26 against the spread as a favorite. Longhorns, they've got to build it up a little bit on the offensive line. They don't even return 50 starts from the group last year. So, look, this is going to be awesome because you got two teams that definitely can throw it down defensively for sure, right? I mean, that's how you get to be kind of in this position and playing this important game. Could you imagine playing this one right now as the first game of the season? So, again, I've got an exclusive play right here on the show right now. Going to give you my best pick on this game, and it's going to be on the under. That's going to be my play here on the show. My free plays here, if you will, on the show. Like I said, I got plays here on Nuke the House behind the paywall, and I hope you'll get involved. If you're not already, you'll find my plays in there, and we'll try to get it going here on this Saturday. I got 4 plays tonight, and also I have probably one more that I'll come with here. I'm trying not to do too late breaking here with the guys, but we'll see. I think I got one more loaded up on a late game tonight that I'd like to share with you guys behind the paywall. So, all right, let me hear if you guys want to make a comment in the chat and make your pick here. One of my favorite things to do is show the comments from the chat here. Austin says Arch is overrated. OSU to rock here. I'm a Julian Sayin fan for sure, and I want him to do well, man. I want him to light it up if he can, and it wouldn't be great if he kind of got into a shooting. Wouldn't be great for me. Like I said, I like the under. Thanks, Josh. Good to see you there in the chat. And it says Arch is overrated. It's almost like, but it's almost, I want to equate him, brother, to like a Cooper Flag. I feel like there are some guys that are just can't miss. And I think there's just, it's not like also, I don't know, this isn't talked about a lot, but it's not like you got the son of the quarter. It's like, it's a little bit different when you've got Arch, right? Hey, we know that Cooper Manning was the man who never made it, speaking of Coopers, but maybe he'll be the best quarterback dad there, maybe, right? So, all right. Archie, they're going to be bringing a bunch of Mannings. Is that it? When do all the Rivers kids be quarterback get to the pros? All right, we won't spend too much time joking around, and I'm going to be on the under in this big game with Ohio State and Texas. I'm rooting for Julian Sayin. I don't know, man. I mean, I think Manning is a huge difference maker and one of those guys that puts a team over the top. But hey, I've been known to be a front runner. All right. And look at Josh. He's talking about Smith, talking about in that bowl game last year for sure. Well, you know what? Still, I think the focus there was on it's on one player, and it freed everything up for the other. 370 yards wasn't bad. Oh, the Longhorns still had 340 yards in that game. So will we get 700 yards? Yeah, maybe we will today. Hopefully it will be awesome, and hopefully the passing game lives up to expectations. We want to get this season off to a flying start. All right, better keep it moving here right now. I'm gauged it out, maybe 5 minutes a game. So we're previewing the biggest games here on the Nuke the House college football pregame show, leading you up to the top of the hour with the big game. Alabama taking on Florida State here in Florida State at home here. Alabama, look, was it a down year for Alabama when you go 9-4 with a new head coach replacing a legend? You got to go through all that, right, just to get to the games and still go 9-4 and give your team a pretty good season. Now DeBoer's settle in, it feels like here, right, with his guy, if you will, with Simpson, right? If you think about a real 5-star, I would guess, but Simpson threw, got in there for a couple of games, had 25 attempts last year. Alabama returns 15 starters to this team and nearly 100 starts on the offensive line. DeBoer, he's 25-22 against the spread as a favorite in his career. Alabama just 7-12 against the spread their last 19 as a road favorite. Crimson Tide always good in non-conference games, but 17-10 ATS. But some of those are those wonky games that when you're playing the Alabama Birminghams of the world, right? And the one game that or two that the SEC teams kind of take off. A lot of them are going to continue those when they replace the SEC, when they go to the 9-game schedule. They're going to get rid of sometimes one of the, they might play, the SEC teams might play a less, a sub-power 4, but not, a FBS, an FCS school. So they'll replace the little bit tougher game, but keep that easy payday game that they got to pay out and get the big crowd and get the sure win, if you will. All right, Florida State, man, what happened last year? What went wrong going 2-10 after going 23-4 in the previous 2 seasons? Turnovers were a problem, that's for sure. But they brought in Castellanos from Boston College, right? I mean, that's a pretty good bring. Started basically 2 seasons last year. Seminoles have a veteran offensive line. I'm pretty familiar. I've been watching Florida State's offensive line for quite a while. Watching my man Jay Williams there a few years ago, the big tackle. Florida State returning 16 players, 16 starters this season. Now, Florida State is a dog last year, and remember, some of the games they were a dog in. They were 1-6 ATS. Believe it or not, how could they be underdogs in that many games? But that's what happened. Norvell is 16-20 against the spread in non-conference games. These 2 teams haven't met in 5 years. So Alabama and Florida State here today. And I will say that this is one of the games that I have behind the paywall a little bit. And thank you, Josh, for bringing the comments here. And we got a great crowd here already, several dozen of you. I think 5 or 6 dozen in here watching right now. So I want to hear from you, and please put your comments on the screen. I'll try to get some other games together too. I'm going to step up on it here, but if you got another game, I can maybe give a play out on something here. Ohio State for Trap God. Josh said he thinks Alabama can win by 3 touchdowns or more, or maybe it will be an upset here. Well, my paywall play is on the side here with Alabama and Florida State. And I talked about Alabama a little bit on the channel last week because Holden Kane, we said, who do you like this year to win the national championship? I told him, I said, well, I think what you're looking for from me as a new analyst would be what team possesses the best value, right? Look, I don't know if I want Texas necessarily. Sure, I think Manning's going to light it up. Maybe it will be Texas going there, but I think I'd rather be interested in a team like Alabama at 9 or 10-1 because I think DeBoer is the real deal, and we already see now. I don't think he's got all the recruits in just yet. Maybe he lost the early recruiting battle when he first came along and missed out on a few players, but I think they're coming. I know they're coming, and everybody knows they're coming. I think that's one thing we've seen. With DeBoer and the rate, the rate basically like number 1 and most of them here. So, look at this. Trap God says, how about that weather today? Boy, don't want to see that. But let's see what I'm going to be on the under here as my play, 50.5, I want to say right now. That's my play here on the show. All right, and let me see. I wanted to see if I got the exact line there, just to be clear with you guys. This is one of the most important things about the Nuke the House channel that I love. That the giving you the lines, make sure we give you an accurate line on this channel. 49.5 here right now, and that's something we stress here on Nuke the House is making sure we give you the exact line to make sure that you get the best price, or also gauge how it wears out when you go to the window or hit on your apps. Okay, I'm on the under here in this one with Alabama and Florida State. All right. Next up, we've got LSU taking on Clemson. We're moving quickly here down the schedule, 7:30 Eastern and 4:30 Pacific here tonight with the Tigers. And the Tigers, I got to like the Tigers here. This one should be a pretty awesome game here. And again, I have another paywall play here tonight, so that's what I'm covering. Yeah, I mean, maybe we're going a little bit heavy on the big games here on the Nuke the House show, Nuke the House channel here, but I got to do it with the big games tonight to open the season. Maybe we'll delve in a little bit later in the season to some non-P4 action, but I think we got to go with it here. Clemson looks primed to start its national title push with a big win possibly here at home against LSU, but LSU comes in with a veteran quarterback in Nussmeier. Threw for 4,000 yards last season, 12 interceptions to go along with those 29 touchdowns. Under Kelly so far, pretty good run, 29 wins and 11 losses so far for Kelly. Returned 16 starters here this season. Returned over 65 starts apparently on the offensive line for Kelly here. 36-19 against the spread in his career as an underdog, although under Kelly, LSU's 9-6 against the spread in non-conference games. The Tigers return, the Clemson Tigers return one of the top producing rosters in the nation with 17 starters back, including Cade Klubnik, who has 28 career starts. They should be poised to reestablish kind of that passing game that we've known, and then maybe sometimes it's been lacking as Clemson's tried to stay with the big guys here a little bit through the transfer era. And of course, Dabo was reluctant to go to the transfer portal in a way, right? But he came around a little bit. Maybe he's still kind of going with quote unquote his guys, right? LSU, though, just one offensive line starter returning among that group. I said still 66 starts, but LSU's been a disaster, actually, in early season games. Just 2-10 ATS in their last dozen openers away from home, including 0-4 ATS in the last 4. So Clemson simply doesn't just lose at home with the defense. They usually win these games, but still got to cover a little bit of number. Clemson returns 17 and over 135 starts on the offensive line. These two teams have not met in 6 years. Clemson just 6-14 against the spread in non-conference games out of the pandemic. So, and also Clemson just 2-8 against the spread, their last 10 against SEC competition. But this is a title contender here right now with Clemson. So, all right, I'm going to be here on the over in this one with LSU and Clemson. My play here on the show is my free play, and my paywall play is the side. So you might be able to get the gist of what I'm on here, but I'm going to talk about it in that way. I'm going to go over here with Clemson and LSU. Oh, man, I got to step on it here for 2 more games, but want to get Trap God comment in here. Trap God, thank you so much for being a great contributor to the shows. And Clemson here, -4 and 57. So please, I see we got several dozen of you in here, and I'd like to hear from you in the chat if you got any requests. I'm going to go quickly, though, here and try to get off before the top of the hour. I'll see if I can work it out with the guys there future weeks, but we know this one, even though it's the big noon kickoff, and they always kick off a few minutes after, don't want to step on their toes. But I think today's game actually probably goes off, I believe it, I want to say 12:20 Eastern time. See if I can get that exactly here. I know even the books are listing it. They may have adjusted by now. The books still listing it at noon, but pretty sure they're going to run over a little bit with this game because that's how they do it on this big noon kickoff. Okay, California. I'm going to go to the late games now out west here, late night with California and Oregon State. Here, just really pick this one because it's a toss-up. There's some better games out there, but Cal had 5 straight losing seasons. They've gone 6-7 over the last 2 years. Golden Bears have 14 starters back, including 8 on defense. They return over 100 starts on the offensive line. Question for the Bears is what they're going to do, basically at quarterback. We know, of course, Mendoza left Cal to go to Indiana, and hey, who wouldn't, right? I think that's the one bummer about Cal and Stanford we talked about last week. It kind of stuck out here. But I would imagine Sagapolotele is going to be the starting quarterback here. I mean, I think that's who's lined up to start the season. So look, it's going to be hard for him and some of the weapons. Like he's got Grizel, I guess, and DeJesus still hanging out there. He was consistent there last year. So for Oregon State here, Murphy at quarterback, but they got Hankerson, good running back Anthony Hankerson, and they got also a pretty productive receiver in Trent Walker for sure. For the Beavers here, you got to figure right now. I'm calling it for Murphy, and of course he was over there in most of his career at Duke. He came from Duke. So Oregon State 5-7 last season after 3 straight winning seasons. Maybe some of that, obviously, with I'm not saying a non-Pac-12 because they weren't playing, but just the discombobulation, I think, for Oregon State as they try to settle in. And hey, they'll be, we're going to get the Pac-12 back together. All right, maybe we'll even get one day Cal and Stanford back in the Pac-12. Maybe they can work it out now with the way they're going to merge the Mountain West in there. Cal and Oregon State would be a perfect fit, obviously, other than academically, I guess. But who cares? We know where the money is going to be made. All right. For Oregon State, 12 returners back on starting returners. Oregon State, though, just 45 returning starts on the offensive line. Oregon State 1-3 as a home favorite last year. They were money at home as a home favorite previously, although I'm listing this game here right now as a pick'em currently. And let's see, maybe... Yeah, it's definitely pretty much a pick'em. Cal's favored by 1 at some sites, maybe even 1.5 I see at Bet Online. So maybe we don't treat Oregon State here necessarily as a favorite. Oregon State has won 4 of the last 6 meetings between the two, although Cal just 2-6 last 8 visits to Corvallis. They haven't missed too many in this series. Obviously, they're playing it here still today. The former league foes here, last 5 between these two teams have gone over. Actually, when these two teams have met. So under Wilcox, Cal 32-16 against the spread as a dog. Maybe more importantly here, because like I said, they might be a slight favorite, 19-11 against the spread on the road, although Cal just 8-7 against the spread as a road dog. But yeah, like I said, still to pick them. Last 3 years, Cal 8-4 against the spread in non-conference games. So I'm going to go under here in this one. The move's been on the under. In fact, I think I have the wrong number up there. I apologize. I just typed it in wrong, you guys. Oh, gosh, I hope I keep my slot here on the Nuke the House channel. 49 is the total. Like I said, transparency is key here on this channel. So Let's get it right. We've got under 49 here as the play. All right, we got time for one more. Oh, man, I wish you guys would talk to me in the chat. I know we got a great audience here on the Nuke the House channel. Let's go to the late night game, 11 o'clock Eastern, 8 Pacific, with Utah taking on UCLA. Utah mostly a 5.5 point favorite, maybe 6 here right now against the Bruins. And look, I wasn't confident in Deshaun Foster coming to coach you, but you know what? I'm warming up to it. And maybe, just maybe, the Bruins can salvage things here a little bit, at least at home against Utah. Utah's pretty awesome this season. Supposedly, they were just 5-7 last year. I mean, that's un-Utah like. They hadn't had a losing season in over 10 years, but they got 17 starters back, basically the whole offense. But they've got Dampier at quarterback. He comes in from New Mexico, where he was a pretty good quarterback for New Mexico for sure. Utah also over 100 starts on the offensive line return. Utah's a terrible road favorite, 3-12 against the spread in their last 15 times as a road favorite. That's since 2021, so they're not a road favorite a lot now, especially playing a little bit tougher schedule of late. But yeah, you're going to be a favorite here, of course. Utah was just 1-6 against the spread as a favorite last year. They're a terrible favorite, and they had a bummer year, no doubt about it. Utah also 5-10 against the spread in non-conference games. Kind of, want to treat it as a conference game again a little bit, but the good old days. UCLA here 6-3 against the spread in their last 10 as a home underdog. That's where they kind of go strong. They were 6-3 against the spread as an underdog last year, although they are 10-20 against the spread in non-conference games in the last 10 years. Utah has won and covered 6 of the last 7 in this series, and Utah's won and covered 3 of the last 4 games here at UCLA. So for UCLA, look, I'm a Nico guy, and I think he should have been here out west all along, whether it be with UCLA, whether it was going to be SC, Arizona, I don't know. But I was questioning when Nico went to Tennessee. I think it's a mistake. I know Nico wanted to be back home, but I think Tennessee should have did a better job, actually, with Nico. And, maybe he was over-slotted. Is that fair to say when he went to, be with the Vols? This will be a better situation for him. I think he will excel. I don't know if I think there's going to be expectations for Bruins fans because, they might be familiar with Nico. I've been following Iamaleva's career the whole time and was sad to see him go. Bruins have 91 starts on the offensive line. I think they're all, at least 3 of them are transfers, maybe 4. I'm trying to think of that right now. But 11 starters return for the Bruins, and they were under 500 last year too, after 3 straight winning seasons. So, look, I think Foster can foster things a little bit with the Bruins and maybe make something happen. I'm going over in this one here as the total here. You guys, I just screwed it up so bad here on the graphics today. That I'm usually perfect on the graphics. Anybody who knows me knows that. We'll call the total 50.5. I'm going to give out the toughest line here possible. That's what I'll do. We're all about transparency. I'm showing 50.5 here at the Stations Casino in Las Vegas. You probably can get a better number than that. I think it was as high as 52, and it actually went down a little bit. A widely reported steam did come in on the over, and I'm going to take the over here with Utah and UCLA. I think you got the gist of where I was going with the Bruins here. I hope they both have. I want Utah to do well as well. All right. And it's great to see Coach Corso out here. He's going to make a pick on the game. He's actually doing a dual set here, I believe, with the I think they're just showing it, honoring him, but they're actually showing this coverage on Fox as well as Coach Corso wraps it up. And I'm going to wrap it up here on Nuke the House. Stay tuned for the companion betting show. I'll see if we can't run over with those guys a little bit and see how they want to run it. But I know they have the show scheduled at 9 o'clock today. So really want to thank everyone for joining me here on Nuke the House. Don't forget, football season is here right now. We know it. So go to nukethehouse.com. Use the promo code Nuke the House. All capital letters. Use NFL 40. I think that's the better code. NFL 40 locks you in at 40% off during the NFL season. And I've got my plays back there as well on today's games. And I think I'm going to have one or two more. So check it out over at nukethehouse.com. That's going to do it. Enjoy the game with the guys here coming up, companion stream. I'll hang out in the chat for a while and for Nuke the House. I'm Ramon Scott. See you next week.